Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this Pick a Card Tarot reading that explores the internal thoughts and feelings that someone has not fully shared with you. It may be your significant other, someone you're dating or have a crush on, or it could be your future spouse who may not be sharing aspects of their private world with you. This reading reveals what that person is unable to communicate. For those of you concerned about spying on someone or revealing their secrets without their permission, I set intentions for my readings to align with the best and highest good of those who I'm doing the readings about. So only those messages are meant to come through. But also keep in mind that these cards only provide perspective. You have agency over your life and you make the decisions about how you experience it. Your choices and your actions reveal the ultimate truth of your situation. For those of you ready right now to explore someone's private world, the link to each reading is in the description box below. I have in front of me 4 piles of cards with the High Priestess of each deck revealed so you can get a sense of the illustrations. So in pile number 1, we have the Supernatural Join the Hunt Tarot deck. In pile number 2, 78 Tarot Magical, Tarot of the Fantastical. In pile number 3, we have the Pulp Tarot. And in pile number 4, we have here the Light Seer's Tarot. So pick the pile of cards that you feel drawn to the most. At the beginning of each of the readings, I'll be pulling cards so you can get a sense of this person's energy and you can further decide whether that reading is meant for you. Trust your intuition to lead you to the right reading. Once you've made your decision, go to the description box and click the link for the corresponding pile. Now it's time to tap into the cards, choose your private world revealing tarot adventure, and let's make magic happen. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 1, those who picked Supernatural Join the Hunt Tarot deck to reveal issues, thoughts, and feelings going on in someone's inner private world. For simplicity, I'll be referring to this someone as your person. And I'm going to start off with some cards to explore your person's energy so you can get a better sense of who this private world belongs to. So we have here water. Group number 1, your person tends to kind of get really drawn to their emotions. They might be a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, someone who might kind of withdraw within themselves, within their emotions. You have this Mercury card. So group number 1, your person is also very, I would say, intellectual, analytical. They're not only within their own emotions, but within their own thoughts sometimes. And it may be that they kind of really focus on what it is they want to say, or take a lot of time to kind of figure out how they feel and how they want to convey what they're feeling. We have this Messiah card. So here it may be that they tend to have like feel like the weight of the world on their shoulders a bit, whether it's just how they feel or they have a lot of responsibilities to others. Regardless of the reality of it, They tend to kind of, I would say, put it on themselves, and allow themselves to be inundated with other people's, I would say, problems, responsibilities, emotions, which could be why they also may kind of withdraw into their own emotions and thoughts, is to kind of have somewhat of a buffer between them and the responsibilities that they take on from others. And here you have this student card. So it seems that your person kind of is maybe a student now, maybe is someone who is constantly wanting to learn, constantly putting themselves in the situation of maybe not knowing enough or being in a position to kind of have the answers, and maybe like always, not always, not 100% of the time, but primarily seeking, maybe seeking information, seeking something that might provide, I would say, answers that they feel that they need to have, or kind of feel they should know. So let's see what's going on with your person's private world. So here we have the Four of Swords, or Four of Daggers. So definitely this need to kind of withdraw to get their emotions and their mind kind of cleared. Here we have the, what is this? The Nine of Cups. So again, that concept of really feeling a lot of emotions, dealing with their own emotions, and other people's emotions. We have the Lovers card here. So it does seem that there is a connection that is going on in their internal world in terms of their desire, maybe what they want to communicate, or trying to even portray themselves as being happier than they actually are. Not that they're necessarily faking it, but trying to convey that happiness. It's almost like they're trying to separate out their doubts or what kind of weighs them down from the external world and their experience that they have with someone that they truly care about and connect with. And here we have the Five of Pentacles. So it could be a sense of not feeling enough, not feeling like, it could be that sense of putting the entire weight on their shoulder of being responsible for the emotional connection with this person. I would also say, like, yeah, the sense of trying to kind of deal with these internal kind of concerns that they have, but also present as being happy, but then also kind of feeling like it's not enough. And then you have here the Nine of Swords, or the Nine of Daggers. So it's almost as if this is causing them, like anxiety, concerns, kind of knowing to a certain degree that things are really outside of their control, but wanting to have that control. Again, kind of putting it on themselves as to feeling like they have to kind of take care of everything, or that what needs to be achieved in this connection is truly like their responsibility. And if they're not fully feeling super happy, then it can't achieve that love connection, that true love connection. Or if it's not a true love connection, they might feel it's because they're not enough, or that they aren't meeting their, responsibilities in that connection. We have here this great fortune card. So group number 1, it seems like your person is aware of good things going on in their life. Let's see what else we have. But we also have despair. But so it seems like, again, that concept of being happy but feeling like way too much is put on to them. For some of you, perhaps it could be that your person may be having some kind of bipolar issues. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist or anything like that. But here with the 9 of Swords and the 9 of Cups, it's a sense of like happiness and glee, and then like stress and anxiety. And then with the Great Fortune and despair, those seem like they're kind of opposites. We have here Deadly Nightshade, Vanity, Self-Absorption. The self-absorption kind of and vanity kind of fits in a little bit with this Messiah card, in the sense of the shadow side saying exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. So putting way too much on themselves, whether it's for altruistic reasons or because, that's the way they were raised, but almost like putting too much on making things like appear good, or putting it on them to make it that way. And then we have High John, the Conqueror, Power and Command. So it does kind of seem like your person, what's going on in their internal world is perhaps like an internal struggle to gain control of things that are outside of their control, and how it is that they can kind of deal with their internal aspects, but still like recognize and kind of be present in what's going on in the reality of the world around them, which seems to have love and great fortune around them. So let's see what else we have for your person, group number 2. We have this cat here: curiosity, autonomy, and magic. So it seems like your person is very much inquisitive, may not want to ask for help from others, and kind of, I would say people might find them mysterious, and I think they're also kind of find themselves mysterious, like they don't necessarily understand the emotions that they're feeling, which may be why they need time to kind of collect their thoughts and emotions. And here we have the wolf, wildness, leadership, kinship. So it does seem like they are kind of dealing with a sense of belonging to a group, maybe a family, even in this kind of this lover's situation. And again, like feeling responsible for what's going on there, how things go, but also I would say a little bit of them feels disconnected, and maybe they're just not sure kind of like why they don't quite fit in, why they don't quite see things the way other people do. We have this compromise card. It says agreement, reconciliation, consideration. So it does seem that your person's internal world, there's a lot of them trying to make sense of this conflict between how they feel, what's kind of going on around them. And kind of trying to find like a middle ground. And we have this imagination card, variety, fantasy, and mind. So you might find that your person kind of your person might tend to, again, be lost in thought, lost in their emotions or feelings. Perhaps they might kind of need time alone to sort things through in a way that's comfortable for them. Perhaps it's like watching cartoons, drawing, doodling, playing video games even, or like watching a lot of TV. But it seems like there might be that might be a way that they tend to kind of in a non-active way, kind of like passively work through some of their thoughts and their emotions. So we have here this fall card. I get the sense of that it has to do more with the concept of falling, but also the concept of like harvest and abundance. So again, that concept of there's a lot of things that are positive, but there's a sense like of fear. Even that concept of Halloween, it's it's fun for people, but there's a concept of scariness to Halloween. And then we have this destiny card. So I think that what's going on with your person in their internal world, they kind of explain things away by kind of saying like, this is either meant to be or what I deserve, or what needs to happen. And that's also a little bit of like the compromise, like how they kind of make sense of things. It may be that it's not like they're compromising their own beliefs, because I feel like they're still trying to figure out exactly what their truths are. We have this 12th house of introspection. So here they're, again, they are very much internalizing things. They, again, they might be a Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, really focusing on, their feelings and what's going on. like within them, and how things are changing. We have this Virgo card, digest. So they're really also trying to figure out like the things that matter and the things that don't matter, the things that aren't helping them, the things that like don't serve them, and kind of almost figuring out the truth of their internal struggles, trying to figure out, are they this Five of Pentacles where it's more there is a sense of not having or being enough, or are they more this Nine of Cups where it's, you know, they're fulfilled and they can share their happiness with others? I'd say, you know, there might be as well, with this despair and the Five of Pentacles and Nine of Pentacles, there might be some who are actually having like financial struggles and not knowing how to deal with it, and really hoping that something positive, some kind of, you know, good fortune comes their way. So here we have this soul connection. So it's almost like this destiny card here. So group number one, your person and their private world, they do feel like strong connections with the people that they care about. The people that are in their world, they might not necessarily know how to show it, but it's like they feel with this Lover's card, destiny, soul connections, and even this Messiah thing, kind of wanting to, they feel really drawn to the people that they care about and that care about them. And so it means almost the world to them to be able to protect and provide, and to kind of be that person for them, though they might not necessarily know how to convey that. And we have this support card. So again, like this card of this concept of wanting to support the people they care about, wanting to be there for them. But it's also a sense of they also need support, and again, might not want to ask for help. And here, even in this, like this Virgo, this digest card, you got these hands kind of working through the wheat here, trying to get rid of the parts that, you know, aren't for consumption and the parts that are for consumption. So it may be that they, without asking for help, are really trying to get a sense of what is worth, what they actually have control over, what is worth them actually putting time and effort in trying to resolve, versus the things that are just them taking on way too much without anyone really asking, and but more trying to kind of like fulfill a sense of obligation or loyalty that they have with the people that they care about. So this is what I have for you. I hope this reading provides a helpful perspective of your person's inner private world. We'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 2, those who picked 78 Tarot Magical, Tarot of the Fantastical, to reveal issues, thoughts, and feelings going on in someone's private world. For simplicity, I'll be referring to this someone as your person. And I am starting off this reading with some cards to explore your person's energy. And this way you can get a better sense of who this private world belongs to, and if this is the right reading for you. So here we have this Pisces card. So group number 2, your person maybe is Pisces or another water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or they just may be someone who is mysterious, imaginative and creative, someone who really kind of introspects a lot, looks at their kind of like almost like lives in their emotions. And here we have this rose here. So group number 2, I get the sense that your person is very much like a romantic type person. They have kind of like fairy tale type ideas about, I want to say, the world. And kind of, it's like they might want to pursue endeavors that are using their creativity, that kind of have to do with, I want to say like sensuality to a certain degree. Here we have this warrior card. So they are also someone who is pretty much, oh, well, these 2 cards want to come out. We have this storyteller and the saboteur. So your person seems to be the type to kind of go after things that are challenges that might have to do with love as well as career paths. They might be someone who, again, is like very imaginative and creative. And here with this saboteur, I would say it's almost that concept of great, like going after a great love and then having experienced a great loss. So there might be kind of fears about succeeding in the real world. So it may be that there's a little bit of I want to say almost like a starving artist or struggling artist kind of storyline there, or someone who kind of, I want to say, like tries to stand up for the unpopular perspective of things, and like really puts their heart and soul into something. And it's almost like bound to fail, but it's partly because of they knew that going in the first place. It's why their heart and soul was in it in the first place, because like rooting for the underdog type of thing. So let's see what's going on with your person in their private world. We have this 5 of Swords. So definitely that like warrior type energy of not really knowing when to walk away from a lose-lose situation, and kind of almost wanting to almost kind of like deceiving themselves in a way, by thinking that they need to keep pursuing something that wasn't necessarily going to be the best route for them in the first place. Here we have the Empress. So again, these like flowers here, these red flowers and these roses over here, again, it's that concept of creating things in the material world. Like there's concepts that your person is kind of working on, telling themselves stories about, trying to kind of bring those into reality. But also it's as if they know when they do, it's not necessarily going to work out, because again, that concept of the underdog. We have here the Two of Wands, so kind of they're almost in a like constant like preparation or planning stage. Then we have the Two of Swords, which is kind of indecision and stalemate. So basically it kind of seems what's happening in their internal world is this kind of them gearing up for a fight that they know they're going to lose, or someone's going to lose poorly, and it's almost not like worth it, and kind of building up this whole kind of thing in their head about it, and then from it wanting to, you know, preparing to move forward, but then also kind of thinking, no, that's not necessarily, I'm not gonna it's not gonna work, or I don't really want to pull the trigger on this. It's almost a sense of like someone who writes a bunch of like stories, or goes out and takes a bunch of pictures, and as they're developing it, or as they're getting ready to kind of send out their work for someone else to see, kind of saying, oh, that's really not like good enough, and then just not doing anything with it. So let's kind of see what else we have here. Group number 2, we have this thoughts, and you've got this like artist here. So it's like they're in this like internal storytelling mode of, you know, what to make real. And then you have this Thief card. So it's like a cycle of them feeling like something is very precious to them, something is very dear to them, and it might be that it has to be perfect, or it has to be right, or they put, again, that concept of putting their heart and soul into it, and then concerned that if it comes to fruition, then it's not going to necessarily give them the satisfaction, or that it's going to be something that is like that glory, or that satisfaction that comes with it is going to be very short-lived. Like this Thief is more like about like a loss, and it could be like, again, that concept of the struggling artist. It's kind of like their identity to a certain degree. We have this ochre, fortitude, and confidence. So I feel like that has to do with that concept of the warrior. Like they definitely are willing to pursue what it is that they feel emotionally drawn to. And we have rabbit, tobacco, optimism, gladness. So they are optimistic. They are kind of seeing like this is something that they would care about, and worth putting their time and effort into. Again, like with this concept of like this empress and these thoughts and this storyteller, and the rose, it's very much like romanticizing certain things that they, you know, have ahead of them, certain tasks, and I don't think it's necessarily one thing. It's kind of just how they tend to operate. Here we have passion, pride, desirability, and And again, it's kind of making me think of this concept of like this romanticizing something. They definitely are wanting to, it's almost like they tell the story to themselves of how amazing something could be, how and I don't know if it's like amazing in the sense that other people would find it amazing, or that they just are really drawn to it. Like it's almost a sense actually of them showing some aspect of themselves through the work that they do produce and so forth, that, you know, they feel might not be appreciated. We have here the armadillo: defense, boundaries, and detachment. So it is a sense of like they want to be recognized for their, you know, their imagination, their creativity, their efforts, but they also don't want to expect it. Like it's kind of like they are to some degree like a self-fulfilling prophecy of like being dedicated to something, but then just knowing no one's going to like it anyway, and then kind of either not pursuing it because no one's going to like it, or they kind of just make it so no one else would like it but them. We have this gain card, cultivation, profit, and I can't tell what the last word is, but it is again that sense of like the Empress and wanting to have like a sense of financial security and wanting to kind of benefit from what they do. And we have robbery, but you also have this thief over here. Exploitation and fairness. So again, that kind of sense of like the things that they would create, the things that are valuable to them, like, I don't know, perhaps they think someone would steal it. Like there's some deception there. Maybe someone has deceived them before, and they're concerned about that. I would say to some degree there is, if this doesn't have to do with like the starving artist concept, what they're keeping to themselves is that they're concerned that I would say to a certain degree, someone is deceiving them when it comes to what they care about, and whether or not it's like they're concerned about whether or not they should really have true connections to this person or feelings about this person, because there's a fear that something is false. Something is like someone is being false to them. It's almost like Seven of Swords energy. So those are the two kind of things that I feel about it. And then in terms of this Two of Wands and Two of Swords, kind of like not sure about moving forward with an alliance with someone, whether it's a relationship, whether it is a partnership, whether it is kind of sharing their ideas, sharing their talents with someone. It seems like there is concern that someone isn't necessarily being honest with them up front. So yeah, there's that. That's a different way to look at it. We have this create magic. So this thoughts and create magic, and that Pisces card, again, that makes me kind of think that and the storytelling, that they are very artistic and creative, and a lot of times they might be just thinking about those things. That's kind of like what's going on in their private world. in this on fire, in this video game here. Again, that sense of like passion for the things that they are kind of creating, imagining, the stories that they're telling themselves, the things that they are passionate about, having to do with like somehow like some type of stories. So, and again, the dramatic type of stories. So, you know, love, death, fighting for love, dying for love, those types of things. You have this Capricorn card of achieve. So here, kind of like the Empress and that gain card and this confidence. So there is a sense of like wanting to accomplish things, wanting to have success, but then concerned about being deceived or having that success not really matter or be appreciated. You have this 12th house of introspection. So really internalizing, focusing on those concepts of death, sex, loss, money, other people's money, kind of like those taboo things. And then we have this mystery card. So yeah, group number 2, your person is definitely, it's almost as if they are, again, that concept of like a fairy tale, romanticizing the fairy tale, romanticizing the challenges, romanticizing the efforts. It's like, it's definitely very, very much back to that thing of like the Empress having to do with sensation, beauty, sensuality, sexuality. And then we have this healing card. So it could be like these extremes for them of kind of the dramatic extremes maybe that they play out in their mind. It could be a way for them to heal some aspects of their past, some aspects of their emotions, a way for them to kind of deal with their internal feelings and then fears of like kind of showing almost their true selves to someone else or to the outside world, and then kind of being afraid of that, but also kind of drawn to the potential of the success or the positive feedback of that, but then also at the same time being afraid to actually show their true selves because out of fear that it won't be appreciated, or that it will kind of leave them feeling like less of a person, less of secure in who they are. So group number 2, this is what I have for you. I hope this reading provides a helpful perspective of your person's private thoughts and feelings. I'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 3, those who pick the Pulp Tarot to reveal issues, thoughts, and feelings going on in someone's private world. For simplicity, I'll be referring to this someone as your person. And I will be starting off this reading with some cards to explore your person's energy so that you can get a sense of who this private world belongs to. So we have this Sun card. So group number 3, maybe that your person is very energetic. They're very much kind of aware of who they are or how they appear to others in the world. You have this Challenger card. So it may be that they are also very determined, very much maybe competitive, driven. Maybe they tend to kind of want to be in like the center of kind of like control or leading things, and possibly the type of person who like questions authority a little bit. And we have this Teacher card. So they seem like the type of person who likes to share their knowledge with others. Kind of perhaps the type of person who will kind of go on to explain something or share something that really wasn't asked, but it allows them to kind of present themselves as being like knowledgeable or accomplished. And then we have this Samaritan card. So it could be that they tend to kind of put themselves in the role of being someone's savior or protector. Actually, I'm going to do some tarot cards. I would say this energy is kind of like very much like they have got it down, like very confident in their abilities, very much kind of, I don't know if they are outwardly feeling like they are superior or try to make it look that way, but there might be a sense of others looking at them in that way. So group number 3, let's take a look at what's going on in your person's inner world. So we have here the 2 of Pentacles. So it seems like they're kind of got their hands in different things, trying to like maybe manage more than that they can handle. We have 4 of Wands. So it seems like even if they are kind of dealing with things that might be more than they can handle, they definitely are giving the impression that everything's fine, everything's good, sense of happiness and celebration. We have the Sun again. They are very much like focused on the way that they are seen by others. And the Queen of Wands. Definitely feel like they have this ability to kind of like attract anyone that they want. I'm going to pull one more. And the King of Pentacles. So yeah, very much like they are like in their internal world. They have a sense of greatness, and kind of like they feel like yeah, very confident. So let's see what else we have here, group number 3. We have this Child card. So it could be that there's some things that they feel like, I want to say, like with this teacher card, there's some things that they aren't really knowledgeable about, that they're like naive about, perhaps trying to overcompensate for the things that they feel insecure about and vulnerable about. And then we have this concern card. So to some degree, this Two of Pentacles in their private world can be just trying to like convey that idea of like juggling this sense of confidence, but also concern and vulnerability at the same time. We have mischief and sabotage. So it is a bit of like this childlike energy, this concept of being mischievous, but confident at the same time. It's almost as if they, to some degree, it's like they want to test what they can do with their position, like how they can kind of like to figure out the extent of control and sway that they have over the people around them. We have this self-discovery and awakening, this toadstool. So, yeah, so it seems like they are kind of realizing, maybe they've always realized, or are just becoming more and more confident in their realizations of the draw that they have, and really wanting to play with that a bit. We have instinct, nobility, and sexuality in this stag here. So definitely wanting to play with their sexuality, how much people are drawn to them, attracted to them, their sense of kind of following their passion and their drive in a way that they feel like people can't really resist them. Like their power, resist their power. And then we have Impala, intensity, vigilance, and speed. So I feel like in your person's internal world, they are very much gauging the intensity of connections with people. Maybe they're not talking about it, but to some degree they're trying to figure out who is drawn to them, why they're drawn to them, maybe playing games with them slightly, like, a little bit. And I don't know what kind of games they would play, but almost maybe flirtatious games, but it's perhaps playful, flirtatious games, but it is to gauge almost like their dominance. We have this adventure card, explore passion and travel. So exploring passions, exploring what people will do, exploring like how they can kind of tip the scales. We have this pride card, self-esteem, self-worth, and ego. So kind of fits with this King of Pentacles, this King of the World here. I'm trying to see, is that like, I think like this picture is that supposed to be like, I don't know, a stag back there? That'd be interesting. Yeah, the sun is also like a card about ego. So it's almost as if in their private world they are kind of, well, here's clarity, but I'm going to keep shuffling because there's like 3 cards that fell out. In their private world, like what they're keeping to themselves is this kind of like playful fantasy of how they're kind of like irresistible, I would say. We have this fantasy world, this imagine here. And it's making me wonder if like this concept of child and concern is almost about like the result of pursuing passions and sexuality, or if it's more like this is like a childlike imagination of like their irresistibility. And we have this hidden mask aspect to it. So again, that the concept of like playing with power, playing with the power that they have over other people, and you know, to some degree, this hidden mischief, Queen of Wands energy, the stag sexuality, the impala intensity, the exploring adventure, the ego. It may be even like contemplating, you know, dating more than one person at a time. You have the 6th house of sustainability. So that has to do with kind of day-to-day habits, routines. What I would say here, I get a sense of trying to, like, they're trying to see what they can get away with in terms of that sustainability. Like, what can they're envisioning what it is their day-to-day would be like, juggling more than they can handle when it comes to this adventure and passion and so forth. We have this retrograde and review. So it may be that some aspect of their past they are actually thinking about. Perhaps in the past they had open relationships. Perhaps in the past they kind of were able to get away with a lot. So I'm going to pull 2 more cards for you, group number 3. We have this card of healing. It would be interesting to know if part of this kind of internal private world your person has going on has to do with them possibly being vulnerable in the past, and concerns over like letting others see their vulnerability. With this healing card, it's maybe to some degree like that self-discovery and awakening, kind of to heal things from the past. You have this fear card. It's like a scared little child kind of feeling, hiding behind something. So to some degree, it is as if this kind of internal thoughts of big ego, big ego attraction, kind of playfulness, like this confidence and focus on like passion and the intensity between people. It's as if, you know, even this hidden card, it could be, it's like over projection or over compensation for some aspects of their past that they're still afraid of and still healing. But it seems like they might be aware of that as well. You even with this like the sustainability, the sixth house of sustainability, and like what it is that their routines, their habits are. Maybe this is something that, you know, the way that they interact with others, this concept of like being someone who is kind of a leader and recognized and admired, and how they kind of test the waters with that. Maybe that's, you know, a pattern of theirs, or overcompensation. Maybe that's something that is a pattern of theirs as well. But it seems like what they're keeping are these thoughts, and also kind of like what it means, to even have these thoughts, kind of, you know, this self-discovery and awakening, possibly even recognizing that there's some aspect of their inner child or aspect of themselves that they're healing and a little bit afraid of. And that's why there's this like focus on kind of being, you know, larger than life, and like center of attention, and drawing this, like trying to be like the center of their own world, and actually feel it, as opposed to maybe looking at themselves as a spectator. So group number 3, this is what I have for you. I hope this reading provides a helpful perspective of your person's inner world. We'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 4, those who picked the Light Seer's Tarot to reveal issues, thoughts, and feelings going on in someone's inner private world. And for simplicity, I'll be referring to this someone as your person. I'm starting off this reading with some cards to explore your person's energy, so you can get a sense of who this private world belongs to. We have here Investigator. So group number 4, your person is someone who's very inquisitive, possibly likes to spend time alone studying or researching or investigating and analyzing, more so than making friends, socializing. They very much seem to value information and knowledge about the world around them. And we have this Daffodil card, which kind of indicates blooming in spring. So they may be someone who likes to kind of be on the forefront of things that are developing. Maybe they are someone who likes gossip, someone who likes to know before other people do. We have this Vampire card. So they are very much aware of people around them that drain them of energy, and those that also energize them. And to a certain degree, it may be like they are kind of seen as like someone who people are drawn to, possibly to get information, to get that energy. Like maybe people seek them out. We have this Prostitute card. Your person is kind of recognizing that there's the information that they have, what's valuable about them. They're willing to share that with others for a certain price. And they're kind of trying to figure out how much. It's almost like they selling themselves out, like being a sellout. So it may be that they tend to kind of, I want to say, when it comes to things that are mainstream, they might kind of shy away from those things, possibly because they don't want to be seen as a sellout, or I want to say also, like, it may be that people either kind of see this person as a user, or they see other people as users, like just kind of their connections with certain people. It's just to get something out of them. And not sure which way is which, but they're very curious. They're very much kind of want to sit back and observe to see what it is that people want from them, what it is that people say they want, what they truly want. And they don't necessarily want to let too many people close. And kind of don't want to be seduced by the wrong people. And by seduced, I don't necessarily mean in a like passionate manner, but just like, you know, trust the wrong people. Be almost lured in to a false sense of security with someone. So let's take a look at what is going on in your person's private world. We have here the moon. So it does seem like they kind of feel like there's some illusion, things that are unclear, where they're trying to like really trust themselves and what they learn about the world. So let's see, maybe they're kind of withdrawing from certain people, moving slowly, but there again, that kind of sense of they don't necessarily want to be seduced by the wrong things. It's as if they do feel like some people could have sway over them, and it may be that this investigator aspect, being more analytical, like focusing on the facts, being a little bit detached, is a way for them to kind of ensure that they don't get sucked into like the emotions that someone else is trying to get them to feel. Or we have the King of Pentacles here. So a sense of trying to maintain their security, trying to be, I would say, disciplined, or have certain rules that they're trying to kind of put together, so they don't necessarily, again, trust the wrong people or let the wrong people into their lives. You know, possibly kind of making it so that there is like clear boundaries, so that they know what is valuable to them in a sense of their own value, and not letting anyone else kind of taint that in a way. You have here the Emperor. Again, that concept of wanting to keep boundaries, and not let certain people in, making sure that the things that they have that are valuable to them aren't taken advantage of. Again, that concept of not wanting to be a sellout, but willing to kind of negotiate their talents and skills for like job purposes, for sure. But it may be that they also want to make sure that they're kind of using, like, they'd be the type of person who maybe doesn't want to work for the wrong organization, that like their mission statement isn't like who they really are, or someone who just wants money for money's sake, but someone who actually wants to like be a good role model. And it's possibly like part of that investigator daffodil aspect of their energy, is wanting to use their knowledge, their resources, their time, their effort to create things that are meaningful and valuable to them. We have here the Six of Cups. So here it does seem like part of their inner world has to do with perhaps their past, maybe possibly being having false friends in the past, or having people that around them that influenced them to do things that really wasn't for their best interests, but they were just using them. And then we have the Three of Cups here. And again, that concept of like genuine connections, genuine emotional connections with people. So it does seem like your person's inner world is very much focused on, it's almost like a sense of morality and rules and discipline to make sure that they don't get like fooled by the wrong people, that they don't go the wrong path. We have this imprisonment. So it does seem like that aspect of morality, their internal world, wanting to make sure that they don't feel trapped. And I feel like this Moon card and this imprisonment card and the vampire prostitute card, like both of these kind of, or all of these right here, kind of indicate that potential of being emotionally, energetically confined or misled, or what's the word? Or giving someone power for the wrong reasons. And we have here this community card. So definitely a sense of them trying to figure out who they can trust, who they can't trust, who, I mean, it's almost as if this person could have been like really like backstabbed by someone in the past. We have crepe myrtle, life and death. So group number 4, it seems like in your person's private world, they're kind of keeping to themselves concepts of things that like the things that come to an end, and want to focus more on the things that they can create. Like with this daffodil card, it come, you know, it's one of the first flowers to bloom in the spring. So after a period of winter and cold, and it's almost like a death of energy, this daffodil kind of comes in and shows its first aspects of life. So I'm going to pull another card here. It says, "Hearts a bustin', removal of obstacles, catharsis. So I think to some degree your person's private world is focused on parts of their past that they feel they don't want to get drawn into again. Like, I want to say false friends, people that really didn't have their best interest in mind, users, and kind of recognizing that part of their strength comes from the experiences that they had with those types of people, kind of like feeling like restricted and having the raw end of the deal, and kind of learning the hard way, like this imprisonment, and kind of knowing the community they want to seek out. It's like they very much are aware that they are in control of the people that they allow into their life. Not just people, employers, I want to say principles that they live by. We have here dragonfly, illusion, lightness, and shifting. So they definitely want to like recognize what is illusion, what is reality, and kind of like have a clearer vision of things, have a better perspective of things. And here we have flamingo, grace, balance, and vibrancy. So group number 4, it seems like your person's inner world, they definitely want to kind of have a sense of knowing who they are, have a kind of like, it's like they want to get all the information about beforehand. They want to be there to observe and reflect and kind of see what's going on based on what they had going on for them in the past. Know what's like false and kind of like come out. It's almost a way of protecting themselves, a sense of distancing, a sense of being able to it's like this sense of balance and grace, and it's almost making me think of like the Justice card, in wanting to be able to make a decision or assessment about someone or something and have it be fair, but doing a lot of legwork beforehand to almost know it's going to be the right result, because they have so much like boundaries to get through in the first place. We have self-love, self-concern, self-healing, independence. So I do feel like your person is very much making sure they take care of themselves and not necessarily be fooled. We have this blind, awkward, unknown, vision problems. So kind of like this illusion. Yeah, they don't want to like walk into a situation blindly. They want to be able to know exactly what's going on and exactly what to expect, and like on their terms. We have this baggage card. So definitely aspects of the past are part of that reflection. I do think it kind of has to do with that life-death aspect. Almost like this is the result of them like knowing better. We have this Imagine card. So it's almost as if your person is kind of like fantasizing about people from the past, fantasizing about those situations from the past where they didn't know better, and kind of like, what would they do now? like how would they handle that situation now? So here we have the 10th house of authority. So with the King of Pentacles and the Emperor and this authority card, I feel like your person, again, in that internal world of theirs, they're kind of rerunning things from their past and how they would do it different, how they would be the person in control. So to a certain degree, it seems like your person is kind of afraid of who to give authority to, like in terms of relationships and connections, and really trying to make sure that they are the one that have more information than everyone else, where they feel secure in making decisions and having like authority over allowing someone in or not. And here we have this trine sextile symbiosis. So this has to do with kind of like kind of using other people for strength or weaknesses. So I feel like this concept here is your person in their kind of private world, what they're not sharing with you is this idea of like assessing whether someone is helping them be stronger, helping them or making it so that they are weaker, kind of like this vampire. In basic terms, it's like they're judging people. They're judging whether or not to allow people in, and kind of replaying aspects of their past as to what they would have done different. We have this flirt card here. So I get the sense that like this aspect of being seduced by someone, they don't want to be seduced by someone. That's kind of like what I get from this flirt card. That's what I get from like that vampire and prostitute card as well. And we have this regret card. So again, that concept of like regret, it's almost like this imprisonment. There's aspects of their past. Definitely there's this baggage where maybe they like blindly trusted someone. Maybe it's a significant other, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's like even a mentor that they looked up to. But basically I feel like they are in their private world replaying aspects of what happened, what they would do differently, this aspect of like life and death and removing obstacles. It's as if they're recognizing what they need to let go of, what maybe ideas, or I want to say maybe lack of structure or too much emotional aspects of themselves that they kind of have to let go of and be more like factual so that they can really bring in the positives, like create positive bonds and let positive friendships and connections blossom, and really knowing what's real and illusion, and who is trying to have a sway over them, potentially, who's trying to seduce them, so that they don't fall into the same traps again. So group number 4, this is what I have for you. I hope this reading provides a helpful perspective of your person's private world. We'll see you next time. Take care.